Email etiquette rules. Emails are a very important form of verbal communication, but not as simple as face-to-face communications. It conveys our message to the reader in an environment which we can't control. So proper drafting of the mail becomes very critical and important. Here are some of the points one should remember while communicating through emails. 1. Write a clear subject line. Subject lines can have a significant impact on whether your email gets opened or not. Aim for a clear and short subject line that describes what your email is about in a couple of words or a concise sentence. Never send an email without a subject line. It's a clear violation of proper email etiquette. 2. Start with a professional greeting. The best way to greet a person in an email always depends on your relationship with them and the subject matter. The appropriate way to start an email professionally varies from formal to casual, but you should never come across informal. Some of the most common greetings that count as bad email etiquette range from "Hey and yo" to just the recipient's name, and trust us, you don't want to make this one. Instead, use more formal and accepted ways, i.e. hello, hi, or namaste. 3. Don't forget to introduce yourself. It's part of email etiquette to start your email's body with a brief introduction to anyone who doesn't know you well. A short line or two covering relevant information will do. If you know the recipient but you're not quite sure whether your name rings a bell to them, find a way to mention the last time you talked or remind them how you know each other. 4. Keep it short. As an average office worker receives well over 100 emails a day, no one has time to read lengthy messages. The worst thing one can do is make the recipient skim through the whole email to find out what your message is even about. Instead, you should be upfront about your email's purpose by stating it in the very beginning. Make your point fast, don't be wordy, and use short sentences that read well. Ideally, your email only has one goal, but if you need to cover different topics, consider condense them to bullet points. When you think you are done, take time to edit your message to ensure it's clear and delete all the unnecessary words. If you still think it's too long, consider if there's a better channel than email to communicate about the topic. 5. Refrain from humor. What you find funny is not necessarily funny to the recipient. Even the most hilarious punchlines can land miles away from their target. Unless you are really tight with the recipient, you should shy away from joking in a professional email. Sarcasm is especially dangerous in written format, as the reader can interpret your meaning the opposite of what you just said. 6. Structure the email properly. A professional email should include a subject line, greeting, body, sign-off, and signature. Steering away from this structure can be considered a violation of email etiquette. Aim to deliver your message so that the email body is no longer than 3 paragraphs. Remember also to leave an empty line between the paragraphs to improve readability. 7. Use sentence case. Using a sentence case means capitalizing the first letter of the first word in a sentence and any proper nouns. A sample looks as below. 2. Avi at Myjobport.in. Hi Avi. It was great talking to you. I'm looking forward to learning more about corporate hiring plans soon. Using capital letters in a conventional way is part of business email etiquette, so you shouldn't foray from it. Remember that writing in all caps at work is also considered a faux pas. 8. Watch your tone. Be intentional with your word choices and always consider how the recipient might interpret them. As you can't rely on facial expressions and intonation to deliver the message, make an extra effort to come across as positive. In addition to refraining from humor, don't use negative words and adjectives that can make you seem more emotional than you actually are. 9. Write like nothing is confidential. A good guideline for business email etiquette is not to write an email you wouldn't want the whole world to read. No matter who the recipient is, you shouldn't trust that they're the only person who'll see your email as a leak. It can be just a matter of accidental forward or CC. However, as there are confidential communications, make sure to use the word confidential in the subject line and highlight in the mail footer WRT confidentiality, distribution methods. 10. Spare the exclamation points. You surely don't shout that often at work, right? Using more than one exclamation point in business emails can make you look unprofessional. The only real reason to use one is to express excitement, and that never requires more than an exclamation point. 11. Be aware of cultural differences. Miscommunication can easily happen due to cultural differences. The risk is even greater in written words as there's no body language to accompany the message. Try to familiarize yourself with the recipient's culture when you are emailing someone abroad. In some countries, it's preferred to go straight to the point, while in others it's customary to get to know the new business associate first. 12. Don't use emojis. Even though emojis play a big role in our daily communications when it comes to instant messaging, they don't belong to professional emails. The reason is that everyone interprets them differently. Unless the recipient has used emojis while emailing you before, you should steer clear of them. 13. Shorten the URLs. Pasting long URLs into your email is a surefire way to make it look messy. In addition to making your message harder to read, they take up valuable real estate. What you should do is to use a URL shortener such as bit.ly or insert a hyperlink instead. 14. Stick to standard fonts. Some of the best fonts for email include Arial, Helvetica, Calibri, Courier, Times New Roman. When it comes to the color of the font, black is the only choice. The right size is either 10-point or 12-point, depending on the length of your email. In case you copy and paste text to your email, remember to clear the formatting, or it might appear different than the rest of the message. 15. Use a professional sign-off. The best way to sign off an email always depends on your relationship with the recipient and your email's purpose. You should match the sign-off with the greeting and the rest of your message to maintain a consistent tone. You always want to be polite, but do you want to write a formal email or come off as friendly? Some of the most popular professional email closings include Sincerely, Kind regards, Regards, Best, Thank you. It's important to get the sign-off right. It's the last thing that the recipient reads and can leave a lasting impression similar to the conclusion of a meeting or the end of a phone call. Thank you. Take charge of your career and register today on www.myjobport.in to find the job of your choice.